Hello guys, welcome back. So let's start a new topic, helminths. So before moving on, let's know what are helminths. These are parasitic worms. Okay, so they live on some other organism and only benefits themselves by taking their nutrition. Okay. The first helminth that we will be studying is Enterobius vermicularis. So write down the name, Enterobius vermicularis. It is one of the favorite helminth for croc. Okay. You should know its another name, that is pinworm. These another names are very important because sometimes they ask this in the question. Next thing that you should know is that it is white in color and it is nocturnal. Now nocturnal means active in night. Write down its meaning also. It is active in night time. The reason why it is active in night time is because it is photophobic. Photo is light, phobic is fear. So it fears the light. And that's the reason that it is active during the night time. Photo means light, phobic is fear. Okay guys, the next point that you should know about it is it lays eggs in the perianal fold. Perianal means what? Peri means surrounding, anal is anus area. Okay, so near that or at the perianal fold there will be eggs present. Now these eggs, they have a particular feature that they are asymmetrical, means they don't have a particular symmetry, and they are asymmetrical and they are achromic. Achromic means they are colorless. Okay, so what happens if a baby is having this Enterobius vermicularis inside? Then during the night time it will get active, so baby will cry at night. Okay, so mother should check the underwear of the baby or the diaper of the baby, and if she finds this kind of eggs, colorless or asymmetrical kind of eggs, then she should immediately go to the doctor and get the baby diagnosed. Okay, it could be Enterobius vermicularis. So in the question they'll always mention something related to the eggs being found in the underwear. Okay, so please keep that point in mind. The next point that you should know is that we do a test for it, and the test name is knee test. Now this knee test, we take the swab from the perianal fold. We take the swab from the perianal fold. This knee test is important because it was asked one time. And when they take the swab, they see these eggs. Okay, asymmetrical and achromic eggs. The treatment, you can write down for parasitic worms. The treatment for all parasitic worms is mebendazole. For protozoans, it was metronidazole, and for helminths, it is mebendazole. Don't interchange these drugs. Instead of metronidazole and protozoan, you cannot mark the answer mebendazole. Okay, and so related to pharmacology, you should know that for helminths we give mebendazole, for protozoans we give metronidazole. These two are different drugs. Instead of mebendazole, we can also give albendazole, and it is mostly given to children, this albendazole. Okay, now there is this one croc question that they give, in which they will give that worms or eggs were found in the underwear of the child, and all of the description is about Enterobius vermicularis. But there's no option with Enterobius vermicularis. At that time, they will give you another organism, that is Diphyllobothrium latham. We'll be doing this Diphyllobothrium latham just now. Just know that if all the description indicates that the answer should be Enterobius vermicularis, but the Enterobius vermicularis is not present in the option, and if Diphyllobothrium latham is present, then go with this answer. Okay, please remember this point, it is very important. So with this, let's do the another helminth, Diphyllobothrium latham itself. Okay, so write down its name, Diphyllobothrium latham. It has another name, that is fish tapeworm. It has one more name, that is Dibothriocephalus lathus. Now this fish in Latin is caviar, so sometimes they also call it as caviar tapeworm. Okay, please remember all these names which I have mentioned. The next thing that they will be mentioning in the question is the rosette-shaped uterus. Now this rosette-shaped uterus, it is a feature for the Diphyllobothrium latham, so this can be mentioned in the question itself. The next point that you should know is that this Diphyllobothrium latham, this helminth, eats the intrinsic factor, which is also known as gastromucoprotein, or it is also known as Castle intrinsic factor. Okay, and it is found in stomach. Now what is the function of this factor? That it absorbs vitamin B12. Okay, the function of this factor is absorption of vitamin B12. So if this helminth eats this factor, intrinsic factor, then vitamin B12 will not be absorbed in our body. So we will have deficiency of vitamin B12. And if we get vitamin B12 deficiency, then we get anemia. And that anemia name is megaloblastic anemia. So therefore, you can write down for EAT, you can write down it decreases, or highlight the EAT part and you can write down that it will cause deficiency of vitamin B12, which is equal to, that is, it will cause you megaloblastic, or it is also called as megalocytic anemia. This anemia part will be covered in the physiology. But now you can know that there is one type of anemia, that is megaloblastic or megalocytic anemia or macrocytic anemia. Okay, and it is caused by deficiency of vitamin B12. And one of the reasons for getting this anemia is if Diphyllobothrium lathum is present in the body. So let's move with another helminth. The third helminth is Ascaris lumbricoides. This Ascaris lumbricoides, it causes the disease Ascariasis. Okay, it is also known as round tapeworm, or it has another name, that is lung tapeworm. The reason why it is called as lung tapeworm, because it primarily infects the lung and the intestine. Okay, so it primarily affects the lung and intestines. Okay, in the lung, they will give you the symptoms such as chest pain and pneumonia. Now, whenever you see this pneumonia, your answer should always be Ascaris lumbricoides if they're asking about helminths. Okay, and in intestine, what it will cause, write down. And in intestine, it causes intestinal obstruction. So if intestinal obstruction occurs, that means it blocks bile duct. Therefore, it blocks bile duct, and bile is responsible for fat emulsification. Okay, so therefore, fat is not absorbed, or you can say, therefore, no fat digestion. You can write therefore, no fat digestion. Now, this no fat digestion, it is also called as fat emulsification. So the actual function of bile duct is fat emulsification. Please remember this, it's important with biochemistry point of view. We'll be doing it in biochemistry as well. Okay, if we do the ultrasound of the patient or the baby or child, so we will see a snake-like creature. So don't panic, it is not a snake, it is Ascaris lumbricoides. Lastly, you should remember regarding its egg that it has encapsulated egg, which is also called as knobby coated egg. It has many names. Its egg has many names. Okay, or tuberculated egg, which are yellow brown in color. Now the color is not important, but please remember the names of the egg: encapsulated, knobby coated, tuberculated. Encapsulated means there will be a capsule surrounding the egg. The color is yellow brown color. And lastly, sometimes they will give you that there was a spindle shaped worm found into a person's body. The spindle shape indicates they are talking about the Ascaris lumbricoides. So please remember this shape also. It is very, very important. I am giving you a crock tip that you should remember, and it is going to be very useful for you. It's related to the fever. Now, if fever is a viral fever, then when you do the blood count, CBC, complete blood count, then you will see there are increased lymphocytes. Okay, if it's a bacterial fever, if a fever is because of a bacteria, you will see increased neutrophils. And if it is because of an allergy or parasite or helminths, then in the blood count you will see increased eosinophils. Okay, so right now we are talking about helminths, right? So helminths, if a person has a helminth in his body, then he will have the fever, and if that person goes for the blood test, in the blood test they'll find that there are increased eosinophils. So in the question with any helminth, they can add that they have found eosinophilia, that is increased eosinophils. Okay, so this was the crock tip that you should remember. The next helminth that we will be doing is echinococcus. Echinococcus, it causes alveococcus in lung. Causes alveococcus in lungs. Okay, in lungs we have alveoli where exchange of gases takes place, right? So if echinococcus is present, then it will cause alveococcus in lungs. That's why in the question they'll be giving you something or some symptoms related to the lung. So with lung you don't have to get confused if in the option they have given echinococcus as well as ascariasis. Okay, if the correct answer is going to be echinococcus, for that they will always mention something related to dog, because it is caused by a dog family. Now dog family includes dogs, wolves, foxes, and all which comes under the dog family. Okay, so they will give you something into the question which is related to the dog as well as with the lung symptoms. They will also give you sometimes that they find hydatid cyst in the liver. Now hydatid, it means water droplet like. Okay, so that kind of a cyst will be found in the liver, and they will say that yellow eggs, it has yellow eggs with operculum on one pole. Operculum works like a kind of cap. Okay, it is a cap, or you can sometimes call it as an opening. Okay, the next helminth that you should know is paragonymiasis. For paragonymiasis, just remember it's another name that it is lung fluke. It is also known as lung fluke, and it is caused by crabs. So in the question when they mention you something related to that the person ate crab a few days ago, then the answer is going to be paragonymiasis. The next helminth is fascioliasis. For fascioliasis, you have to remember it is caused by the organism Fasciola hepatica. Its another name is liver fluke. It is caused by drinking raw water of pond. And you have to remember the size of this organism, because it is very important when it comes to helminths. If you remember the size of the helminth, sometimes it gets very, very useful in marking the correct option. Okay, so it is caused by Fasciola hepatica. It is also known as liver fluke. It is caused by drinking raw water from the pond, and the size is given. Okay, because if in the question they give you the person drank the raw water from the pond, then the answer could be Balantidium also, which is a protozoan, and it could be Fasciola hepatica also. But how will you distinguish? For Fasciola hepatica, most of the time they give you the size, and for Balantidium, it's mostly about the two nuclei and cilia.
So we'll end this part of the helminth over here and continue the second part of the helminth in the next video. Okay, so thank you.